in the city of Vancouver, there are a number of graduates from Islamic universities from Saudi Arabia. So in some cases, they've set up classes in centers and masajid that are not known for a history or legacy of Salafiyyah. So some of the youth who are new to daʿwah Salafiyyah, have gathered around them. However, they have some questions about this. So when they ask these individuals what ulama they take from, they'll say we take from the kibar, and they'll mention some names. If they teach from the books of aqidah that are well known. However, in some cases, if they're asked about the Salafis who are well known in the West, those who have preceded them, the likes of Kitāb Salafiyyah, Salafi Publications, they'll say, well, we don't know anything bad about them, or we only heard good about them. Or if they're asked about TROID, which has been in Canada for over a quarter century, they'll say, well, we don't know them. So what is your advice to the young new Salafi who's trying to ascertain who they should take knowledge from in the West?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, ala Nabi Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa ba'd. No doubt, ikhwan, those who ascribe themselves to daʿwah ila Allah, calling to Allah, then their affair must be examined. No doubt. And we have the well-known statement of the Imam Muhammad bin Sirin, inna hadha al-'indin fanzuru amman ta'khuduna dinakum. Indeed, this knowledge is your religion. So look carefully to who you take your religion from. We know this. Now, because ikhwan, this matter of daʿwah, it's not a light matter, it's a heavy burden. And it's a great task. And it's not to be undertaken by just anyone. None. And you find that many people, they become deceived from what is outward and apparent from some individuals. This person speaks Arabic. This person, for example, study here, or they study there, and they mention some Islamic universities or some places of learning, or he's reading from the book of Alim al-Fulani. And Shaykh al-Allāmah al-Fawzān, he clarifies this matter in tremendous detail, and he has a very has a very excellent jawab as it relates to this. But I'll mention some of what Shaykh Salih Fawzani said as it relates to this question. And he mentions, from the things that he mentions, is how this matter of daʿwah has become a babun wasi'. It's become a door wide open for just anyone to walk through and claim that they're giving daʿwah. They may be ignorant, for example, these individuals. They may not have the hikmah or the wisdom, right, to call to Allah Azza wa Jal. They may be very rash and hasty to the point that they bring more harm than good. And Shaykh Fawzani says, and perhaps they may have aghrāt, they may have hidden agendas. They may even have hidden agendas that they're trying to push under the guise of a daʿwah ila Allah, calling to Allah. Now, they have their own agendas and they have their own programs that they're pushing. They have people behind them that are pushing these agendas by way of them. Now, and it may be matters, for example, that may lead the youth to misguidance or may lead them to their destruction. So the affair, ikhwan, this affair of daʿwah, is not just being deceived or not just looking to what is outward and what is apparent. Now, it's just not that a person comes to you and they say they want good or they want to aid the Muslims, or they're aiding the Muslims. Now, and Shaykh Salih Fawzan, Shaykh al-Allāmah Salih Fawzan, he gives the example in this of Masjid al-Dirar. Now, and we know that Masjid al-Dirar, it was a masjid, it was set up by the hypocrites in order to harm Islam and the Muslims. Now, and Shaykh Salih Fawzan, his intention here is to make a point, right? So don't nobody go and say, well, Anwar called, these people hypocrites. No, this is not the case. Shaykh Salih Fawzan, I'm quoting from what he mentions, and he mentions this in Ajubatul Mufida, this matter of this similitude of Masjid al-Dirar. He said, Shaykh Salih Fawzan, he said, if you look at the case of Masjid al-Dirar, outwardly, they claim to want good. Allah mentioned their affairs in the Quran, Surah At-Tawbah. والذين اتخذوا مسجدا ضرارا وكفرا وتفريقا بين المؤمنين وإرصادا لمن حارب الله ورسوله من قبل وليحلفن بالله إن أردنا إلا الحسنى والله يشهد أنهم لكاذبون. And those, as for those who put up a masjid by way of harm and disbelief, and as an outpost for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger, and they will swear that they only want it good. وَلَيَحْلِفُنَّ إِنْ أَرَدْنَا إِلَّا الْحُسْنَى. They will swear that they only want it and intended good. And Allah, He testifies that they are liars. لَا تَقُمْ فِيهِ أَبَدًا. Never stand therein, to the end of that. So Shaykh Salih Fawzan, Shaykh Al-Alama Salih Fawzan, he uses this. Now, that these individuals, they came in the guise of wanting good and doing good for the Muslims. Now, and they came under the guise of being sincere. And even the Prophet ﷺ, he promised to pray there at that masjid when he returned from Tabuk. But on his way back, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He sent down the wahi, the revelation, and He informed the Prophet ﷺ by way of these ayat of the reality and what these individuals intended. Now, so it shows, ikhwan, not everyone who comes to you in the name of goodness, in the name of khair, in the name of wanting to do a'mal salihah, this doesn't always mean that this is the case. Now, so their affairs must be studied, right? It must be looked at. Shaykh Fawzan is another thing that he mentions. You look at what good came about by way of their daʿwah. What khair, what fruits came about by way of their daʿwah. A person must look at this. All right, that's one thing. Another thing, ikhwan, as for the statement about our brothers in Salafi Publications, for example, well, I don't know anything bad about them, then our brothers, hafidhahumullah ta'ala, at the head of them, Shaykh Abu Khadija, and Shaykh Abu Hakim, and Shaykh Amjad, Naam, and those who are along with them, then there have been a reason, after the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, for the daʿwah salafiyyah to prevail in the West. They've been a reason for the daʿwah to salafiyyah to prevail in the West. Now, along with others from our elders, for example, who passed away, Shaykh Abu Wais, Shaykh Abu Talha Dawood Burbank, and likewise some of our brothers here in the States, Shaykh Abul Hassan Malik, Shaykh Hassan Somali, Shaykh Kashif Khan. Now, these are the brothers we know for years being consistent in the spread and the call to pure Tawḥīd and Sunnah, Wallahi alhamdu wal minna. Now, so these are the brothers, they've been instrumental, ikhwan, in spreading this clear daʿwah to Salafiyyah here in the West. So the statement that a person says, well, I don't know anything bad about them, then what about the great good that we know of them? What about the great good that we know of them? And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve them and us upon the sunnah. And lastly, ikhwan, I would say about, as it relates to this question, then it's strange that those who are in Canada, even if they may be on the west coast of Canada, it is strange that they don't know our brothers there in TROID. Another markaz, very instrumental for spreading and disseminating and propagating over a period of 20-something years, pure Quran, Sunnah, Manhaj Salafi. Now, disseminating and spreading information for years. And I was from those, even before I went to Medina. I left in 2003. Before that, we would receive the pamphlets and the tapes and things like this from our brothers there in TROID. From that time. Now, we're here in America, in Philadelphia, so it's strange. The person says, well, we don't know them. Just go to the markaz in TROID, the masjid there, and you'll see, go into the office and you look on the wall, and you'll see all the nashat over the years. Right? They have a wall there showing all the nashat and the activities of da'wah over the years, over a 20+ year span, invited this person and this book and this dode and that. And the subhanAllah person says, and we don't know them. Now, so in reality, ikhwan, those who make such statements of, for example, we don't know anything bad about fulan, these brothers, for example, they mentioned our brothers in Salafi Publications, or we don't know our brothers in TROID. Now, those who make such statements, to be honest, it seems to feign knowledge, or they say that they don't know about these brothers, then it seems that كأنه وراء ذلك شيء. There's something behind that, and Allah knows best. And the poet said, and I'll end on this, وَمَهْمَا تَكُنْ مِنْ امْرِئٍ مِنْ خَلِيقَةٍ وَإِنْ خَالَهَا تَخْفَى عَلَى النَّاسِ تُعْلَمِي. And whatever trait a person has within him, and he believes that it can be concealed from the people, it will one day become known, and Allah knows best. And I end on that. Jazakumullah khair, ikhwan. Sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.